Reverend Natalie Jean, and this is the Infinite Elevation Hour, and I'm here with my co-host,
Erline Germain.
and we're here to give you some insight in all things spiritual and all things creative. But first, we like to talk about our day. So how was your day, Erline?
It was rather exciting, Natalie.
Okay, so what made it exciting?
Maybe the cup of coffee I just had. No, I'm just joking. Just a lot of going on. As I stated last week, balancing my schedule. But I think I'm getting the hang of it, and I have a feeling like spring is coming. So I think I'm excited about that. It's one of my favorite times of the year because it's like refreshing, new beginnings. The birds start coming back out, the sun stays out longer, you know, people seem a little bit more happier. Tax time is rolling around, you know.
Yeah, money's coming in.
So,
I know my father sure is happy about tax time.
So how about you? How was your day?
My day is getting busier and busier every single day. You know that thing where they say be careful for what you ask for?
Yeah,
it's all coming all at once. Hallelujah. So Natalie is learning how to clone herself, how to work with time, how to expand time, because you know in the spiritual realm, there is no time in God's world, and I'm trying to work with that. Am I being successful? I don't know.
Yes,
but
you are.
But I can only be success. But at the same time, I may look like a crazy person in the future. But yeah, it's been extremely busy. Like I said, people need to be extremely careful for what they ask for. Be sure that you're ready to get it. Sometimes we don't get exactly that thing right away, but then maybe a year or two later, all of it will come to you and you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
And then God wants to give you some more ideas and you're like, okay, now you need to do something about the other stuff that I have going on that needs to be X'd out so that I can do all of these wonderful things. Now, I wanted to talk about our current events. You know, we always have to have something lovely to talk about in the current event world. I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is a beautiful game. It almost gave me a heart attack. I couldn't even watch it at the end. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't watch it. And I didn't even know Baltimore had a football team. Isn't that sad? All right, because I thought the Washington Redskins was for everybody. This is how I'm so unfamiliar with the Ravens. But hallelujah, I know them now. Now, the topic of conversation is basically about Beyonce.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was in the car 2 days ago and I listened to 107.3 and they had a conversation about her dancing and what she was wearing. And I was so totally against Jack Diamond that's on the show, that's his show, because he said that the way she was dancing was inappropriate because it's family hour and all this stuff. Now, when I've watched Mick Jagger dance all across the street, I could be like, that's offensive to me.
Right.
But that's the way Mick Jagger dances, so it's beautiful to me. It's not even offensive. Now, what they were trying to say, and they had callers call in. I tried to call in, but I catched it too late because I would have gone off. They were trying to say that her outfit, there was too little of it, and then they were trying to say that the way she was dancing was too provocative. Now, here's the thing with all this. And they were saying that, you know, a lot of kids were watching it at the time. But what they don't seem to understand is that kids are kids. They're going to watch it and they're going to see a performance. They're going to see the dancing aspect of it. They're not going to think about the sexual stuff about it because they might not be at that point. Now, if you have a teenage girl or a teenage boy that's really into their puberty, starting to be aware of their body, they may get a sense of it, maybe more so for a boy than a girl, that the boy may get aroused from it. I don't know. But the point is that it's the parents that put that seed into that child to tell them that there's something wrong with the way that she was moving. Now, I would challenge Mr. Diamond to get up and dance and do all the dancing that she was and sing at the same time and be able to have a turtleneck on and leggings and all kinds of things and not pass out on stage. First of all, and you know, stereotypically, black people can dance. That's just the fact of it. Most of us can anyway. And when we move, it's just a heritage thing, okay? We go back into slave times. Slave times, what did we have? We had our singing, we had the broom that we could jump over, and we could dance. We could move. This is how we expressed ourselves. This is how we expressed ourselves to God, okay? So here you have a wonderful performer, and she can put on a show.
Yeah.
She has this nice outfit on, and by the way, they compared her outfit to an outfit that Tina Turner wore one year. I don't know if it was for the football Super Bowl, but she wore it one year. And they're talking about her moves. That is just dancing. We put the ideas in people's head to say that it's more than dancing. One man called in and said, "Oh, she should have gotten a stripper pole." One woman called in. That's because he got aroused over it. That's why he said all that crap on the radio. Because if he didn't get aroused, he'd been like, "No, she was perfectly fine." It is dancing, people. That's all it is. I teach Zumba. In fact, you see me in my Zumba outfit today. And because I rushed over here after my Zumba class, we dance. We use every aspect of our bodies to be able to get a good workout. It is dancing. To criticize a person because she has a beautiful outfit on, she's dancing her derriere off to give you a great performance, and all you can say, "Oh, it was inappropriate." I don't think so. Maybe flashing a boob like Janet Jackson did by accident or on purpose, that might have been a little inappropriate. But to put on a great performance for a great game, I might add, is just stupid in my mind. What do you think, Erline?
Well, controversy, always. No, I mean, for the Super Bowl, for the past couple of years, that's been a major thing. I think many people weren't really into Madonna's performance last year. With, I think she had 2 other ladies dancing with her and the motions. But it's entertainment.
That's right.
And what's, I guess, great about Beyonce is that she has, she's even stated she has her stage.
Yeah.
And then her...
she's in her Beyonce. She has a name.
She is. Sasha.
Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce for her stage, and then Beyonce in real life. And ironically so, last week I was at school, and I had to go feed my meter, and I ended up at the gas station by the school, and they had a TV running, and it was CNN. And Beyonce was on there talking. And it was the pre-Super Bowl show where she had questions answered. She answered questions from a lot of the reporters. And she even sang live in front of them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right?
I heard that.
To combat what she did at the inauguration to just show that she could sing.
Oh, yeah, she did.
And the way that she carried herself, I was actually really proud of her because I never really listened to her talk extensively.
Right.
And which is very rare because I guess they're always singing and not really, having a discussion in a Q&A like that. And she really answered what many people were trying to say, that she couldn't sing, and she said, "This is what I'm born to do."
Yeah, that's
that statement in and of itself made me really, really become more of a Beyonce fan in the sense that this woman knows herself. She knows what she's here to do. Whether you like it or not,
amen.
Whether you think she can sing or she can't sing, she's going to get up there and sing. And she's going to throw in some moves at that.
Yeah.
And I was looking at her performance, and I said, my goodness, she's probably like 31 or something.
Yeah, she is.
And she had a baby.
Right.
Look at how
she
great.
Looks good.
Yeah, she's in great shape to get down and come back up and turn around and have a control on your voice. And she said she's the type of performer that will practice until her feet bleed.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, okay, this is a professional. And many people are so easy to knock down someone who's at the top of their game, making a comeback with her group, Destiny's Child. But they don't see the behind-the-scenes work that goes into it. And a lot of the times, there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot more people than just Beyonce to get Beyonce to where she is. And I remember when she first started off, her mom was making her her outfits
for her,
and styling her hair, kind of helping create an image. And to be honest with you, in the entertainment industry, sex sells.
Right.
Sex appeal.
Right.
So like you said, if she came out there with a turtleneck and a long
I'm like, what is this?
nun's outfit, you know, I'm not sure that's what
No.
would be the day, you know, would make the game as memorable or controversial or whatever you want it to be. And I've watched the football games throughout the season. And do you know what I noticed? The pregame, like, hype up, they had Faith Hill coming out. Her outfit was just as skimpy.
Yeah,
But I didn't hear anything about her.
Did you?
But then again, she doesn't move as much
Right.
as Beyonce does. But
still.
and I said, maybe the question is, are we scared of her femininity? You know what I mean? Because she didn't look skinny there. You know, she looked great in all the right places.
Yeah, she has a perfect body.
You know, and she was in control of the stage, her voice, and the opportunity, you know, to sing at the Super Bowl. Many artists strive for that. And I think that was probably one of the most memorable moments of her career thus far. And instead of celebrating that, you know, many people want to take the negative
Yeah, they want to
side.
criticize her and everything.
Yeah, and it's hard to find a nice balance because football is one of those sports that you can have young and old fans and in the middle, you know. So to accommodate everyone, you know, I think she tried to do different things and having the crowd come in running.
And have Destiny's Child there.
Yeah,
she
you know,
incorporated
so
a lot.
A lot was given. So, I mean, I'm on your side in terms of, yeah, I mean, it's entertainment.
How many times has Madonna come on those? She had skimpy outfit too. They didn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, she got a little bit of flack for kissing
Britney,
one
at the MTV Awards, and Christina Aguilera. You know, and well, they're just gonna have to get over it. She's a great performer. I salute her. I praise her, and she did her job well done. The other thing I wanted to talk about is something that had happened to my sister actually about a month or two ago. You know, she borrowed somebody's car, and the car actually, the battery went dead, you know, in the middle of nowhere. But at least she was close to a gas station. So she just basically she needed to jump.
Well, I've been in that situation.
Woo, you would think that my sister was asking for the world. She was asking for $1 million. Each person that she would ask, you know, they either didn't have the cables with them or they didn't want to help her. In fact, one guy she asked, and she said, do you have cables? And the guy said, yes. He said, she said, can you give me a jump? He said, what are you going to give me in return?
What?
And she just, my sister goes, a smile. And so the guy ended up going into the convenience store to pay for his gas, and then he came right out and got in his car and didn't help my sister. And I think that's just nasty. It's just, I don't understand humanity anymore. They just pass by. They don't want to help people. And unfortunately, and I'm going to say this, she was in a black neighborhood. And stereotypically, what I've been heard is that people just don't want to help you out.
Right.
And I think that's extremely disgusting. A person is in need. She's a female, alone by herself. Somebody, and in fact, somebody eventually came to her aid after an hour or two. And we need to get together. We need to get together in our communities and help one another. We can't continue to bash and hate and do all these things. We need to come together as a unit.
No, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement.
I mean, we need to come together as a unit. You know what? We always think that there's always race issues and problems between black, white, or Asian, white, or Spanish, black, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people don't like to talk about the black-on-black racism. Some people don't like you if you're too dark. Some people don't like you if you're too light. And if you're half white, half black, they don't like you, or you can't figure out who you are. Who cares? The thing is, we're all people. We're all living in this spiritual, wonderful world, and we need to lift this veil of human conditioning and help one another. Why is it that people are so focused on skin color rather than seeing somebody in need and helping that person out?
No, I completely agree with you. And to be honest, I have not I don't know. I have not gotten into the race consciousness of people because I can see it sometimes, but I try to not
give into it.
Yeah, and let it take a hold of me. And I bring this up because growing up, I was called like Oreo.
Yeah, I had that.
Not
Zebra.
really
I've had zebra.
Yeah,
you had zebra?
No, maybe Twinkie a couple of times because I was a little bit lighter.
Twinkie?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that one.
And it hurt.
Right.
But as I got older, I was like, you know what?
Screw 'em.
That's not me. Oh, I had teacher's pet too.
Yeah, no, I
But
had that one.
you know, I think it's just going back to sometimes people see something in you they wish they had.
Yeah.
I mean, as I've gotten older, I understand that. And an old friend of mine told me about that. He was like, you know, this thing called a paradigm shift. And I was like, what? What's that? Right? He's like, sometimes another person might see something in you that they like.
Right.
But instead of complimenting you, it turns into
something nasty.
negative or hate or something. And when he broke it down, I said, I had like an aha moment or something. And I guess it made me feel better about the situation, but not saying that it stopped or anything. And it's also funny you bring that up because I'm a little bit older when I go to school. And I'm not saying I get prejudices or anything because I'm older, but I guess the kids can tell that I'm a little bit more mature. Do you know what I mean? I'm not on like joke time.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like more serious about what I'm here to do. I'm listening, I'm taking notes, you know, things of that nature. So I kind of get like the stares and the snickers and stuff. But then I think when they start to get to know me, they're like, oh, she's mad cool, you know.
She's hip.
You know,
For
and they're
her
like,
age.
they're like, so what would you say for this? You know, they come to me for advice and answers, and I'm like, okay, you know, at first, and that's kind of going along judging people and going back to your sister, it's like not really wanting to assist or get to know the person or put yourself in that situation. And I really feel like karma comes back to you when you don't help people and you're available. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes, okay, if I don't have it, I really can't help you. But if I know I had it, like that guy, that's wrong. Like he knew he had it, and sometimes men do get like that with women, you know, get real cruddy, like, what you gonna do for me? And then I'll help you out. And actually, a friend of mine brought up a story to me this week, and I was kind of in disbelief, but at the same time I believed. She got her hair braided, and I decided to do mine my own self because I'm a creative person. I said, let me figure this out. I can do this. Might not be the best, but it's my first go at it, right? So she said the girl who was coming to do her braids had to get a ride from a guy. But in order to get the ride, she had to do something for him, or something had to go down.
Okay.
And
I would have been like,
I know. And she was like, not aware of this. So they came over to her place where she was at, and the other girl told her, hey, you know, can I use your room for a minute? And she was on stuck mode, like, are you serious, you know? And she was like, that's the only way I could get up here for a ride, to do your hair.
nah.
And I said, but they're younger, you know? And I was thinking, like, okay, see me? No. Both of them would have had to go. Because,
Yeah, I would have told
you
them
know what
no,
I mean? From my perspective,
it's disrespectful.
I think so. And I don't know, that just came through to discuss the value someone has of themselves and exchanging it for a small commodity as a ride. You know, I don't know. I just
It's
thought,
a different generation. I think our generation, well, especially my generation, those are things that you definitely wouldn't do. I think the younger generation, they just don't care about a lot of things. It's different for them. It's a different world.
but how do you relate?
And then that person that's saying, okay, I will do this, basically doesn't have she has low self-esteem.
I truly believe, and what I'm saying is, like, how do you relate? Like, when you hear, like, you know, I'm, like, thinking about, like, man, like, oh, that's messed up, but how can I, you know, I know my friend knows better.
Right.
But she's not the issue. It's the other girl. And I'm thinking, how many other girls are like that? And that's why men can come up to other women and be like, well, what you gonna do for me?
Right.
Because someone like that other girl would do something for him, you know, not having that self-esteem or knowing that there are other ways, you know.
Like, no, I will walk.
Right, or I could take the metro.
Bus or the metro or something.
Know, or call my girlfriend up. If she had called me and told me, hey, the girl needs a ride, I would have gone and given her a ride.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just that type of person. But I just really am concerned about the youth. And then when the story completed towards the end, she told me that the girl said she didn't even like the dude because he was on the phone with another girl. I mean, it was just like so much drama attached to it. And I was thinking to myself, Lord. Woo,
no,
thank
she
God I was
obviously
not
didn't
in
care
there.
about herself because you don't even like the person, but you're willing to do certain things, and the guy doesn't have any respect.
Oh yeah, he threw a $5 bill at my friend, thinking he could have her too. Yes, I said, Lord Jesus, the story was getting, it was getting too many.
Me in that situation.
It was getting too much, and I said, and she's married. Okay, her husband is over in Italy in the military, you know, and she's a really sweet, innocent young woman who's focused on her studies. But I think sometimes when you're sheltered and then you're exposed to certain things, you're kind of like in disbelief about it. And then she told me, I'm a little older, and I was just completely disgusted by the whole scenario. But I didn't want to show her.
That's sad.
How deeply disgusted I was, because, you know, I'm more of a mentor, but I'm just thinking in my mind, wow, like, these girls need help out here. Like,
no,
for
they
real,
do. They do.
Like, somebody has to tell them different, because that's not the way to go. We all make mistakes in our past, and we all make bad decisions, but to learn from them and to also help others, I think, is important, you know.
Right. No, I agree with you. And so we can segue into the relationship aspects of things.
Okay, sure. Why not? Valentine's Day is coming up, right?
Yeah, Valentine's Day is a day of amour, a day of love.
But I think every day should be like that, right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think that every day you should show your loved one how much you love them. Send them, give them a little poem, hug them, tell them how much they mean to you. It shouldn't be that you have to have a specific day to do that. However, not every woman is lucky or man is lucky to have that type of person in their lives. You know, there's some guys and there's some women that just do it on that day. They express their love that day because they just feel that's the only day. Some people are just not that expressive, and that just allows them to show them how much they feel or how much they love. But I wanted to talk about how sometimes, you know, people tend to break up. And, you know, during that breakup period, the question is, can a person get angry if that person hooks up with somebody else during that breakup period and then the two people decide to go back together? Now, my belief is this. If you've broken up with a person and the agreement is you've broken up, you know, at that point, you don't have any intentions of getting back together with the individual.
Go ahead.
Then the person can go and do whatever he wants. Now, if the two of you get back together and the guy or the girl starts trying to communicate with the person that he fooled around with while he's back with you, then that is wrong. That is called cheating.
Okay, so let me just get this straight. If you're broken up,
right,
let's say for 2 weeks, my question is, how much did I mean to you?
Not much. No.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, okay, I understand.
No, I
Maybe it was like a
I
rebound thing, you know, or you needed to feel
point.
some kind of thing. But it's like, okay,
I understand
next.
your point.
It was like, on to the next one, you know,
well,
let me get my little book out. Okay, who haven't I called in a while?
It depends. It depends if, let's say it's the guy that goes off and messes around. It depends. If the guy's really hurt by the fact that they broke up, he could do that as a revenge. He could go, oh, she don't want me, I'm going to find somebody to get, you know, that's going to want me and stuff like that. But if he comes back and he's still involved with the other woman, then he's a piece of doo-doo.
Okay. Did you ever see the Friends episode when Ross says, we were on a break? It was
yeah,
like this whole like long thing, and he kept on apologizing because they were on a break. Because I guess you never know if you're going to get back with the person.
Right, you don't.
But I still think, okay, I'll let you slide. You did that. I'm in agreement. If you go and talk to the person while you get backed with, so what confidence does it make in the relationship? There isn't any,
No.
right? There is no trust.
There's
There
no
isn't
trust.
anything, because how, if you did it once, how do I know, since we've been together, if you haven't done it again? And then my other concern is safety. I mean, and I see this all the time. If you watch, I don't say I watch these shows, but they're on. Maury, You Are Not the Father. And,
You are not the father. You are the father. Yes, I've seen it.
and Jerry Springer and things of this nature. And they come on, and all these people, line of people, did this, did that. And I'm thinking, does anybody, like, think about their health? Are they safe? You know, so those other concerns, and I know maybe, and I don't have statistics, but maybe I can say HIV is not as high as it was, not 100% on that, but I do know that these things have to be taken into consideration, because if you're loyal to one person and that person's not being loyal to
You have to
then
protect yourself.
you're kind of like blowing in the wind.
Well, as the person, you have to decide if you want to stay in this situation, knowing that this person is still doing other things. And if you decide to stay, then you need to protect yourself. You tell the person, look, nothing's going to happen if you don't wear a raincoat or whatever we want to call it. Basically, it's up to that person. Now, if the person takes the person back and is just like flighty and decides, well, I'm going to risk this, then that's on that person if something happens with all these diseases out here.
So I'm going to bring up Chris Brown and Rihanna. Sorry. I'm not sure if they're still together.
They are.
Okay. But I know once they got back together, the other woman...
No, the other woman's still there.
Still there too?
Mm-hmm.
They're all Lord. Okay.
But in their situation is different. They all know about each other. You know what?
Wait a second. So it's okay if they all know about each other?
Yeah, I mean,
so what's the difference between that and like a threesome?
What's the difference between that and the threesome? Well, the difference between that is that when Chris Brown is with Rihanna, he's with her, and that when he's with what's her name, the other woman, he's with her.
So what kind of self-esteem does that give?
In that situation, I don't know if it's about a level of esteem on either woman or Chris Brown's part, because Rihanna said, and when she did her interview with Oprah Winfrey, is that Chris Brown, no matter who wants to understand this or not, and she does, at this point she doesn't even care. She said, this is my life, this is the way I'm going to live it. She said that Chris Brown, for her, no matter what transpired between the two of them, was like her soulmate. She said, this is the love of her life. So Rihanna has this thing where she kind of cannot let Chris Brown grow because she's so affected by him. And then the other woman, even though she knows about the situation, she calls them being friends. But we all know that he sees her from time to time. She cares about Chris Brown, I don't know, in the same way. She does apparently love him because she's still with him. And then Chris Brown is questioning, you know, is it possible to be in love with two people? I think those situations can occur. I think you can meet, I mean, in spirituality, they say that, you know, we can have, there's 200 soulmates per person. So you can meet two people in your lifetime that you could be so in love with and not know what to do. Mm-hmm. Right now, these women, it seems, are in agreement that both of them are going to see Chris Brown. And then eventually Chris Brown is going to have to make a decision because that's not going to last that long. Because it seems like Rihanna has a temper and she's going to go off one day. You know, she is. She's not. After a while, she's going to have to take a step back and look. Is this going to make me happy? Because right now she's in Gaga land. She's so in love with him. She's supporting him. Today she went to court with him. I don't know if it was on her. No, I think her stuff is over. On other stuff that Chris Brown has on his back at this point, she's very supportive of him. But what I see is that I see Chris Brown is more into Rihanna than he is into the other girl.
Well, because they have a history.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Yeah. Like they've been through. They're both. I think what it is too, and I had this other discussion with a close friend of mine. Sometimes when young people get success at an early age, they're truly affected by it, and sometimes they don't really know what to do with it. And I was explaining that I believe, like, and I think I've read a few things that support this belief. When you get money, it just intensifies who you are, right?
No, right.
So if you're extremely angry, you're going to be more angry.
angry.
You know, if you're an extremely happy person, you're going to be more of that. And I think when they started dating, they went everywhere together. They toured together. They sang together. You know, it was just a lot of togetherness. And I guess, like you said, being ripped apart. But now coming back, now you still have the growing up.
Right.
And now you're like in this, and they're young adults.
Yeah,
they're not
young.
even, I don't even know if they're 25 yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so like you said, I think eventually as maturity sets in, he's going to have to make a decision.
Right.
And I think he's going through a lot of transition in his life, because I've seen his appearance change a couple of times, like, you know, and trying to find out who he is and what he wants to do. Definitely into tattoos.
He doesn't.
Yeah. So, and she is too. So, you know, I mean, I wish them well. I just think, like you said, if they're going to be, well, for me, like I'm going to say, if they're going to be role models for young women and
you
men.
You can throw that one out the door.
I know, you're not going to agree with this. That's why I said, like I said.
You can throw it out the door because they don't, Rihanna and Chris Brown, those are two people that they want to live their life. They don't care about being role models. I understand where you come from, but I'm saying for them, they don't care.
No, I know they don't care. But their image is being seen by some and being adopted by some. I know someone who has a Rihanna haircut. You know what I mean? Like, they're influential. They're trendsetters, as you might say, to the young generation. But then again, you know, that goes to question, why don't people develop themselves more, too? But anyhow.
Yes, that is our current events. Those are our current events. When we come back, Erline is going to teach us about shadowing and crystals. Isn't that fun? So we'll see you in a minute. Hi! I'm Reverend Natalie Jean, and I'm here with Erline Germain. And so we're back with our spiritual awareness and our creativity. Erline is now going to teach us about crystals, and then she'll go into shadowing, and then I will go into my girl, Emma. Take it away, sister.
Thank you, Natalie. I'm just going to read a little excerpt from my Healing with Crystals and Chakra Energies book, okay? I've referenced this book many a times, and it's a shame they don't have Borders anymore, because I used to love that place. They had all kinds of great things. I had gotten this from there, and I'm glad that I did. So today I'm just going to discuss really briefly crystals and my relationship with crystals. I'm not an expert or anything. It's something that I'm still learning about, but there's certain ones that I gravitate towards, and I have a really cool relationship. So I'm just going to introduce two today. One that I feel that most people should have in their life, and maybe around this time, is rose quartz. Okay, and I have my lovely little pouch here, and you can carry your crystals in a little pouch, or if you want to put them around your house, or keep them in your car, you know, whatever you would like. So this is a raw piece of rose quartz, and you can identify it by the color. It kind of looks like a rose petal, or I don't know, something to do with love, pink. Maybe that's why I like it. Maybe that's why I like it. But what is rose quartz really good for? It kind of helps balance out the emotions if you're stressed out, or to draw you more towards love, or to have some kind of inner feeling of, you know, harmony and peace on the inside. So I like to keep this around if I'm stressed out, or if I need to get over something maybe my boyfriend said or did. No, I'm just joking, because he's like right there. And according to this book, it is a great way to calm the mind and encourage a degree of mental detachment from any emotional recall. So if you have something that was traumatic, that dealt with your emotions, you can have a piece of rose quartz and carry it around with you. And the great thing about these crystals is if you go to like a bead shop or like a crystal shop, you can find them kind of refined and not so like rocky looking, that you can wear them. You know, you can make bracelets or have a lovely you know, pendant or something of this nature to wear around you. Okay, so that's one. And the other one is citrine in the raw. Yay. And citrine, this one, and I didn't know this until I went down there.
That's the November stone.
Is it? Citrine, we went to the Natural History Museum, right? And they have a whole mineral. Have you been down there? It is like amazing. I was like, oh, like I entered this room of like energy though. It was like really nice, and they even have the I think the Hope Diamond, the one from Titanic.
Yes.
Oh, that had bodyguards. I was like, oh my gosh, is that real? Like it was like blinged off. Like you can even take a picture because the diamond was so pure, like it fractured off the light that when I took a picture, it was blurry. Like that's how pure that was. So anyhow, more about citrine, which can bling you off too. It's more for clarity of the mind, and if you're an artist or if you're in artistry, this is a really great stone to have around you, because it actually opens you up to your creative mind, and also balances out some of the negative energy that you might encounter or try to come into you. And it's good for opening up the solar plexus, a chakra zone. And it's warming, soothing. And ironically, I have a funny quick story about citrine. New York has this really wonderful shop down in Manhattan. And about a year and a half ago, I'd gone on a school field trip over there. No, it was a school trip. And we went into the shop, and I saw this beautiful citrine necklace. It was like $35. And I was like, oh man, you know, that's kind of steep, you know. So I wore it. I had this like, and it was a hot day too, and I put it on. It was so cool and calm, and I was like, oh, I have to have this necklace. But maybe not right now. Because I want, I was in New York. It's kind of pricey.
Right.
That was like my first stop.
Right.
See what else is out there. You want to explore your options on your budget.
Right.
And so I didn't get it. This summer, I went to New York, and we had the luxury of staying in a hotel. We had saved some money. And I was like to my boyfriend, I have to find this shop. He's like, what shop you? I said, we're going to walk. And you got to walk in New York.
Yes, walk.
Lord, I walked my feet. They're so sore. So we found the shop. Believe it or not, the necklace is still there. I swear it was the same one. And it was, she marked it up a little bit more. I think it was like about $5 more, like 40 bucks.
40 bucks.
Right? But she was really trying to, I guess, sell it. Because back then they had more than one. And this was like the last one.
Okay.
And I was like, 40 bucks. Again, And I did the whole debate back and forth. But I guess the difference was my boyfriend was nice enough to buy it for me. He was like, if you want it, I'll get it for you. I was like, all right, cool. Okay, that'll work. So he ended up getting me the necklace, but it was still there for me. And I occasionally wear it. And when I do wear it, it does give me that calm, cool feeling,
Oh, cool.
And it's really nice, and I'll show you one of these days when I wear it. So I am an advocate of citrine. I do have some bracelets, and I had one that popped. Don't worry about that. I got another one to replace it. And it's a really great stone to have. The color, you can find it, and it ranges from being kind of dark like this or a yellowish color. Right. So those are the two that I brought today to share with you guys. And we'll save the other one for next time. The other thing I wanted to share with you, I had a special request for some pencil demonstrations. So I'm not sure we have significant amount of time, but I will just show you what I made this week. And I'm going to bring it back, the design journal. I brought it up last week, the creative journal. And if you didn't tune in last week, I'll just remind you, you can just grab a wonderful journal and put some thoughtful, creative ideas in there for those of you that are interested in being a little bit more artistic with your life and a little bit more passionate about yourself. I sound like I'm doing a promo. So this is some shadowing that I did. I did it maybe in 5 minutes on the phone. Somebody called me, and I just started penciling. Because as I drew, I was like a little calm, and I was just listening. It's like kind of like you can do two things at once kind of thing. And you can do this too. I'm a big lover of flowers. I'm a passionate painter of flowers. I don't know, something about flowers. Maybe their curvature, maybe the way they smell. I don't know. Maybe the loveliness of them, their beauty, or plants in general. So what I have here is a bag of pencils. I can't claim that this is my bag of pencils. It's a combination of my bag and some of my boyfriend's stuff because he just started to draw again. Can you imagine being around me and being influenced to draw?
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
It is. So for those of you that don't know, standard pencils for drawing have letters on them, okay? They range from H's and B's, I believe. Don't quote me, but I think that's what I got in foundations class. And that's a hard and a softness rate.
Right.
So you can get a pack of pencils from the art store, and all you do is take it to your pad, okay? And unfortunately, I'm not that skilled in holding up and drawing, so I'm going to draw kind of flat here, okay? And what you want to do is if you have something in mind, or let your mind carry you, you know what I mean? And sometimes people like to have something in front of them. They can look at it and draw. One of my things that I say to myself as I draw is draw what you see. Now, I don't mean it has to be exactly, because we all see things differently.
Right.
So my perception is mine, you know, so how I see something is how I'm going to draw it, and that's what makes it unique and different. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the Picasso or the, and if you actually see some of their work, it's not really perfect.
No.
You go and you see it, and you're like, what in the world? But that's how he saw it.
Right,
you
that's
know?
what his
and that's,
vision.
Yeah, and that's what makes him him. So for me, I could just start off with quick, you know, sketch. And I should have probably started this at the beginning of the show, and then by now I would have had something to show you. But all you have to do is open up your mind, and in a matter of minutes, you could probably have something kind of unique. I'm going kind of fast here, so my flower might not be as beautiful as it could possibly be, but it will be a flower that I could potentially work on and build on if I really like sit down and have some time. And you could throw in some color. But you know what? Pencil is always a great place to start. And by that, I mean it's nothing that you can't put an eraser to if you don't like it. And then it's not something that later on, when you're done, you can come back to and add to, you know.
Right.
So I guess those are the most beneficial things of drawing with a wonderful pencil. And I really wasn't into pencils, but after taking a couple classes and learning that when it comes to like foundations and stuff in drawing, it's a really nice way to set off something. Okay, so very quickly, because I know we're short on our time, I can just show you a little crazy flower that I did. And it's not, again, something that...
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Natalie. She's just saying that. But you see, I mean, it didn't take me that long, and when I get home, I can probably add some color to it. And if you're into pens, you know, you can also grab a pack of pens. This is a really lovely collection. I got to find the hookup on these. I hear there's a hookup somewhere. But, and what you can do with your pens, they come in different ballpoint sizes, okay? And these are the inks that you would use for wonderful sketches, all right? So maybe next week I can show a little bit more about drawing techniques, a little bit more, and then we can go on. I know you have something wonderful to share with us about Emma. We always have that towards the end here.
Now it's the Emma hour. It's the Emma 5 minutes. We're back with my book, Gospel Series in Spiritual Science, and this is my girl Emma, lover, 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 lover. So we'll see what she has to tell us today. So she says, this is a necessity of thinking in the Spirit. You can have all the faith of God and take no faith from your neighbor, as you can have all the wisdom of God and take no wisdom away from your neighbor. You can have all the riches of God and take no riches away from your neighbor. There is always enough and to spare. The mere knowledge of this principle will work out your affairs in a new and different fashion. It is a knowledge that liberates a fine white light to sift itself through you and turn and overturn all your affairs, to give free way for a new set of affairs to settle themselves. All of your affairs, as you now look at them, represent your former way of thinking. They are held together by the glue of your former ideas. Now, if you withdraw that glue, what can you expect but that your affairs will all fall to pieces to let the new affairs, representing your new way of thinking, establish themselves? People are often astonished after telling God after telling that God is their health, to find that their health seems to fail them. The old foundations have been knocked from under them by saying that God is their health. Formerly, they felt that air and food and doctors were their health, but now they know better, and that knowledge slows off the health based upon foolishness. Then their health is founded on the true basis. People say that God is their support, and their houses and lands are taken from them very soon. This astonishes them, but their possessions, which had been founded on business deals and workings after material methods, had no foundation that was worthwhile, and the true foundation would slow off all that was procured by any process unlike itself. So basically what Emma is saying, that if your true foundation should be God, that all things should come from God, not from the material, the human way of getting. This sudden destruction of property after making the true statement has been noticed by metaphysicians of all classes and kinds for ages. They have been almost afraid to tell the truth about possessions on account of the swift departure of them after telling the truth. This poverty after riches, by the slowing off of the riches so badly founded, can all be avoided by acknowledging Jesus Christ in the mind as the Savior from poverty and trouble. In some mysterious ways, the name Jesus Christ is the demonstration of good and saves from the experiences of evil which the bare truth rushes us into. For instance, if you are speaking of God as your support, be sure to add the words according to Jesus Christ. For you remember that Jesus Christ owned all the kingdoms of the world and the riches of them. That he went about leaving his possessions to take care of themselves was just because he knew how to increase 1 penny into 1,000,000 at any moment he pleased. Now that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to manifest, boom! I look at all my pennies. I said, and according to Jesus Christ, this is all $1,000,000. Basically, it is a mindset. We need to let go of the material, the human way of, getting things, and really rely on God. And it doesn't mean that we just stay stagnant and we just sit and say, okay, God, just help me. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do nothing. No, you aid in the process by knowing, by believing that God is your support in all things. And when we acknowledge this and we hold this to be our truth, then things will follow. Money is just going to pop up at your doorstep. New job, a new job will pop up at your doorstep. All things will come to you.
I feel like everything's tying together that we talked about. I had a question into Beyonce's finances for the Super Bowl. Actually, I think my boyfriend asked me, and I said, I don't know. Let's Google it. And ironically, we found out that she doesn't get paid to do, no artist gets paid to do the Super Bowl, but you do get, I think, the production costs or something like this. But even better, she has the Pepsi contract, right? And that one is like worth $50 million or some outrageous number. And I just sat there and I was thinking, wow, if she can make $50 million, like, why can't I or anybody else that I know make that? You know what I mean? In the sense that, not saying she's not talented or anything, but everybody has a talent. And she's capitalizing it. And we did more research, and I found this old YouTube clip of her where she was getting interviewed in a car. And I don't remember the guy's name. He's one of those reporters that you see on the nightly news or something. And they asked her point blank question, would you trade in where you are right now, because she was talking about how sometimes the cameras get a little overwhelmed with the paparazzi, and go back to where you came from and have no money, but you would have anonymity. One would know who you are. And she really honestly couldn't answer that question, because I think, and she talked about a little bit to answer it, but never really directly giving an answer, that she's the type of person who, I guess money would always come to her, because whatever she chose to do, whether it was singing or not singing, she would do it to the best of her ability. And I gave her kudos for that, because I think she has a strong sense of self, and her parents did a good job, or maybe she learned it as she's, I think she said she's been in the business for 16 years or something like this. I said, wow, okay. I didn't realize that of her. And so I just bring that to tie everything into
No, I mean, we've got to take a look at her. If we truly believe in ourselves, and we believe in our successes, and we believe that we deserve millions and millions of dollars, and it's all up to us. Nobody's stopping us from gaining all this money. In the human world, they believe that only certain people should have this kind of money, only certain people are deserving, and the truth is, we work for our own good. We have to believe in ourselves. We can get the money that we want. It's all up to us.
And I want to say, hopefully in the right way, not doing anything to harm anybody.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's not going to come to you. Well, sometimes it comes to you
But
in a
not
negative.
for a long time.
But you definitely want to attain these things in a positive and a good way. And once you do, then you're going to be like, oh, that's all I needed to do? Yeah. So this is it for today for the Infinite Elevation Hour. We hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, when we give you more spiritual creations, more creativity, and more awareness of our current events. Until then, stay blessed.
Take care.